Visit TCGCastle.com and get 5% discount on your purchase with TCG Center 5 code. Check video description or visit TCG Castle for more.
Looking to grade your Pokemon cards and you don't know how to do it? Check out Ludkins Collectables and grade your Pokemon cards with zero risk. Check video description or visit LudkinsCollectables.com for more.
Hey, how's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In this video, I'm gonna play with Golisopod GX featuring Lurantis, as you can see in front of you. So, if you're not familiar with the Golisopod GX, it's 210 HP grass Pokemon with the first impression, armor press, and crossing cut GX, 3 retreat cost, and of course, weakness on the fire. What's really special about this deck is definitely the first impression attack with single energy card. If this Pokemon was on the bench, it became your active Pokemon this turn. This attack will does 90 more damage, which means that with the first impression we can go for 120. If we have one choice band attached to the Golisopod, we can increase damage down to GXs or EXs up to 150 with a single energy. If we have something like Lurantis Sunny Day on the bench with the ability, then we can, for each Lurantis, stack 20 more damage counters to the first impression. So technically, with 3 Lurantis on the bench, we can increase damage for 60, so we can go for 210. And even if we played Kukui, we can increase the damage for 20 more, which means we can go with a single energy for 230, which means that, in theory, we can one-hit knock out every popular Pokemon in the current format, like Duskmane Necrozma, like Zoroark GX, like Gardevoir GX. The only Pokemon that cannot be one-hit knockout, of course, is that Metagross GX and of course Solgaleo and Lunala with 250 HP. But in that case, we spread one turn of the Flying Flip, and we're gonna be able to even one hit knock them out with a single first impression. Some other cards that this deck features are actually 4 copies of Fomantis and Lurantis, of course, 4-3 copy of the Wimpod and the Golisopod GX, 1 copy of Tapu Koko for that free retreat, which is very important in this deck for the first impression, and 2 copies of Tapu Lele GX. Moving on to some other cards in this deck list, I'm running, of course, 2 copies of the Field Blower, because it's important to blow those float stones from the Garbodors in case if somebody these days play them. 1 copy of the Rescue Stretcher with 1 copy of the Super for the Pokemon and Energy Recycling, as well as 4 copies of the Ultra, so we can search a deck for a Pokemon that we need. It's also interesting to see on this deck list 4 copies of Acerola, but it's very important to have them, so we can simply scoop our damaged Golisopod and put him back into the hand. If our opponent is not capable to go for the one-hit knockout, it's going to be very hard time for our opponent to do something to us as well, as long as we have another Wimpod ready on the bench. Running only Bridget, but it can be improved to the second one. In most cases, I'm running only 1 Bridget, and in 90% of the time, it works very well for me. Then I'm running 4 copies of Cynthia for the draw support, as well as 2 copies of the N and 2 copies of Professor Sycamore. It's not that we really want to discard too many cards from our hand, so this is the reason why I'm running 4-2 line of Cynthia N and only 2 Sycamores. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, extra 20 with Kukui, plus we can also drop 2 extra cards. And of course, 3 of each Choice Band and Flowstone featuring this deck, so we can increase damage for 30 and have that very important free retreat for the first impression, so we can strike once we play good for 120 with a single energy, and even more depending on how many Lurantis with a Sunny Day we're going to have on the bench, if we're going to have also Choice Band played, and stuff like that. Speaking about energy counts, I'm running 10 energies, 4 copies of the Force energies, and 6 copies of the Grass energies in this deck, which will be 60 cards in total, and that's going to be the deck that I'm going to use in today's video. If you guys looking forward to buy maybe any of these cards, you can check them on ccgcastle.com. Link is provided in my video description. As well, if you may be looking forward to send your cards to the PSA submission, you can also check LudkinsCollectables.com, because those guys provide very good service. Speaking about sending cards and receiving them back to the PSA submission, you don't need to worry about fees and stuff like that. So, very interesting deck, as I spoke about at the beginning of the video. The biggest problem, of course, for this deck is going to be Greninja, because actually it's not going to be Greninja, because Greninja can be one-hit knock anyways, but because it's weak on the grass, it can shut down abilities, so potentially we can be in a problem. It will depend on the setup for the Greninja. But the biggest problem is, of course, any fire deck, specifically Vulcanian, because Vulcanian can have easy time one-hit knock it out our Golisopods. But with Lurantis in play, only one energy, we can take advantage knocking out our opponent Vulcanian EXs on the bench pretty much easily. But again, on the other side, if our opponent plays Ho, for example, with Kiavi, then we're going to have very hard time even trying to set up these days with this deck against fire deck. But anyways, against any other deck, it's very fast and it can just take advantage very quickly. So let's move on to the game test so you can actually see how this deck works in action. So see you in the game. Alright, so it'll be easy to win, especially if I'm going to play Solgaleo GX deck, because on the loaders I noticed how my opponent basically have a metal Psychic deck, but it's probably the Krozma GX anyways. So taking a closer look to my opening hand, I'm just having one copy of Wimpod, and it's confirmed that on the other side it's a full deck, which means I'm probably just discard both fill blowers at the beginning of the game, maybe even not. It really depends. It's a Regis still. Oh, so I managed to top deck one copy of DM, which looks pretty interesting. What I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go with the Ultra Ball, and it's gonna be for one top level, of course, if Bridget is not priced, and it is. That's not good. Seriously. So I'm gonna do something like this. Alright, I guess I can also put my energy. And the choice back. That's gonna be one retreat. And of course one copy. So let's just go with the N. And there's one for Mantis, and also one energy, which is near perfect scenario for me. Also good thing is that Regis still can for 30, but since I have resistance minus 20, it's only going to be 10 damage counters with Turbo Arm. However, with one Lurantis, I can strike for 140 with my Golisopod GX, which is definitely good. So there is one Ultra Ball, and carded with one Metal Energy for my opponent. So far, I only have one Flowstone and Fill Blower in my discard pile. Duskmane Necrozma, Sonic Eclipse for 250, but you need to have more price cards left than your opponent if you really want to use that GX attack, so it's only good for when you're in price disadvantage. And there's the one Max Elixir. It's going to be the energy attachment for my opponent Duskmane, and also second Elixir, but unfortunately not good. Alright, one energy in his discard pile, which can actually be easily accelerated. And Sycamore for 7. Alright, very nice. I'm gonna have Cynthia, but better. It would be very nice to top deck something like Ultra Ball, maybe for Golisopod, so I can Guzma his Necrozma. And probably that's just not gonna happen, so what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna attach one energy, Cynthia, and spread damage counters around the board. That's what I'm looking forward to do at this moment. Alright, another for Mantis, and Lurantis as well. This scenario, I'm gonna fly flip, so I can attack for one energy and take the knockout against Necrozma. So right now, if I had that Golisopod, I could strike for 170 one of my opponent GXs, since I have also that choice band available. With Kukui, we can also add some damage counters, so he decided to heal all damage counters from his active Registeel. Of course, it makes energy can be easily accelerated down to the Necrozma on the bench. For me, it's very important somehow to get that over his Necrozma. I think I'm gonna go with another Cynthia in this case. Oh, another Lurantis. I'm gonna need that Wimpod as fast as possible. And I simply don't see, which is huge disadvantage actually. Energy can go somewhere, but I definitely don't see point doing that. But anyways, I'm gonna fly flip one more time. It's gonna be for another 20 to all of my opponent Pokemons in play. With two Lurantises, I can do pretty good damage, to be honest. There's a 4 energy on Goose, and of course it's gonna be for my Wimpod. And the bad thing is that he can also Claw Slash, but it's not enough. Strike with his Meteor Twin Test and discard 3 Metal Energies for 220. It might, but it definitely worked, to be honest. Since I have that Rescue Stretcher turn later, I managed to pull that Golisopod. It's actually turn too late. But still I'm gonna need 2 Wimpods, that's for sure. So let's just put on the bench. That choice ban, I'm gonna go with my Cynthia, and I'm searching for another Wimpod, and finally I managed to get another one. So I'm gonna fly flip one more time. Without. Sooner or later, this Duskmane is gonna be easily knocked out by my first impression. There's the Field Blower, alright. For my opponent. And a Metal Energy to his Tapu Lele. Interesting. And there's a Solgaleo with a Cynthia. Whew. That's interesting. Or prefer to go with Turbo Arm once again for energy. The good thing is I have 0 GXs in play, so best thing my opponent can do in this moment is only to hit me for 1 prize card by discarding a lot of energy cards, which is just insane. So this is going to be 1 Sycamore for 7. And I hope I'm going to find Golisopod so I can finally strike my opponent. Looks like that's going to be the case. So let's go with another Wimpod on the bench. 1 retreat. Will allows me to strike for 170. And we are both going to be speaking about prize cards, so my opponent is not going to be able to take advantage using his Sun Eclipse. Since he already, theoretically, he can have 4 energies attached this turn to that Duskmane, but that's of course not going to happen. So the best thing for my opponent is somehow another Duskmane in play. But again, Radiant Star can actually attach 4 energies any way he likes. That's just insane. Since I have Guzma for the next turn, I'm gonna definitely have easy 1-hit knockout with my first impression, which is insane. And I also have 2 Wimpods ready on the bench for another round of the Golisopod GX, so that's pretty nice. It's not that I need more than that. Alright, Gladion. Am I useful? Who knows? Maybe he managed to find himself an energy card so he can power up his Solgaleo. Next turn, I can take 2 prize cards against Duskmane. I can also take 2 prize cards against Tapu Lele. There's the Ultra Ball, so it's probably going to be for another Duskmane as well, as he probably have energy since he won energy discarded, so 1 energy is probably going to go to Solgaleo, and then 1 Instruct for extra card. Full energy is attached to his full HP Duskmane. That's the obviously choice. So, specific situation. I guess I can at least try to knock out his Duskmane on the bench. It's only 190. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. If I can top deck DCE, which I can't, Yeah, then I have option available. Let's just retreat back to the first impression for 170. Oh, I had 190. I actually realized that it's 120, and it doesn't matter really. It really doesn't. I'm not gonna bother too much because he can knock me out with his Duskmane, because all I really need is just another round of the Golisopod GX for the knock against his Duskmane, and there's one Cynthia for my opponent. Alright, so I'm gonna need basically Ultra Ball as a top deck, and then I can have that Crossing Cut GX. I was not able to use my Armor Press, but even if I have option to use it, my opponent would still knock me out either way with the Sonic Eclipse or Meteor Team Test. There's the Ultra Ball for another Necrozma, which means he's energy attachment, and he's definitely tried both equal at this moment. I'm going to promote another Lurantis in the front. I'm going to put another Wimpod, actually Fomantis, on the bench. And this is going to be a Super Rod play. And I can pick between two, but I'm just gonna roll with Sycamore for 7 because I need to knock out this turn my opponent Necrozma. And that's gonna happen. That is going to happen. I can strike for 190 exactly with my GX attack. I can crosscut and retreat back to my Coco, for example. Of course, I can expect in the active position to see my opponent Solgaleo, but even if he promote him, I can again strike for 160 just by retreating down to my first impression Golisopod. So he definitely needs to try to find a way to knock out this Golisopod this turn, but it looks like that's just not gonna happen because he just missed Max Elixir energy attachment for his Necrozma on the bench, and looks like this might be the GG. He have potential to attach energies to his Solgaleo, but next turn I can strike for tons of damage counters. There's the end to disrupt me a little bit. I guess he would try to retreat down to his Duskmane, attach another energy and pass. But if he had Max Elixir, that would be much useful and better. Again, I managed to find myself S-Roller, and looks like that's it. Looks like GG, so I can retreat. Grass energy, so I could even attach grass and play my S-Roll if it was needed. So that's the GG. That's the victory against Duskmane Necrozma with the Golisopod GX featuring some Lurantises who can increase the damage counters. So it's really interesting deck that can be used at this moment in the standard format. Of course, it needs a little bit more improvement and more testing, but I hope you guys enjoy watching these videos, so make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this deck idea. So till the next time, have a nice day and goodbye.